So to get started, we're just going to come to seated for a moment. I want you to ground your sitting bones into the floor, just connect down. I'm just going to rest the hands on the knees. You might want to face the palms up just for a nice open posture, being open to the practice. And then lower or close the eyes. Let's just arrive in the room. Just notice the breath, where it's at this evening. There's no control, no judgment. We're just seeing where we are. You might need a little fidget, you might need a shuffle of the shoulders until you can find a little bit of stillness. And then bringing more awareness to that breath. Let's feel the cool air coming in and the warmer air going out. Notice how it feels on the top lip. Can you be aware of the breath going into the nose and maybe touching the back of the throat? Bring awareness to your jaw. Maybe even just giving it a little wiggle, loosening it up, allowing the jaw to just come down a little, away from the top teeth. And relax the forehead, the space between the eyes. And taking the hands, just want you to gently place them on the ribs. And as we breathe in, can you feel the ribs going out and away? And as you exhale, just softening back in. Moving the hands to the heart, placing one hand on top of the other. As you breathe in, feeling both hands lift up. And as you exhale, it's softening down. And then let the hands fall back down into the lap. Notice how the breath has started to slow, how it started to deepen. Wonderful. And when we're ready, we're just going to take the fingertips to the floor, keeping the eyes closed or lowered. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up. Just take a nice big breath up to the sky. And then as you exhale, just going to bring them straight down. Nice big stretch away. Lovely. Inhale, lift it up. Face the palms up as you come up. And then exhale, bringing them down. Let's take a few more. In through the nose. You might want to let it out through the mouth. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. One more. And out. Fabulous. Give the shoulders a little roll. Let's start to get a little bit of warmth in here. And then we're going to come up to standing. So we're going to start our physical practice, our asana, in a standing position. I'm just going to move you slightly back so you can see me better. There we go. We're going to take feet probably just a little bit wider than hip distance and on a little bounce in the knees. So if you're going to sort of get your boogie on, a little bit of bounce, a little bit of wiggling into the hips. And we're going to come into a breath of joy. So this is a lovely breath to get the body moving and also literally bringing that joy. So you're lifting yourself up, you're letting go. So I'm just going to demonstrate it once because we're going to take 3 breaths in, or 3-part breaths in, and then we're going to let it go. So I'll show you what we're going to do first. We're going to start nice and gently, and then you can sort of go as rigorous as you want, depending on how your day has gone. So I just start with my arms down by my side, and we're breathing in through the nose. And then out through the mouth, folding forward. Then we're going to inhale. Exhale as we get to the top. See if you want to join me now, if you want me to take it through again, your choice. So we're going to breathe in. Blow it out. Lovely. Inhale nice and softly. Exhale as you get to the top, soften those shoulders. Going through again. Let it flop down. Inhale, rolling all the way up to the top. Okay, we're going to take 5 rounds of this at your own pace. Now, when you flop down, you can really have the knees bent. If you get a little dizzy doing it, just come down halfway, arms to the knees, breathe it out, and then roll it up. Or if you really want to go for it, you can swing the arms back. So your choice, see where you're at this evening. So lovely softenings. Go through 5 times. I'm just going to do it at my pace, and then if you want to go a little faster, a little slower, you choose. You can always just follow me. Okay. Breathing it all the way up and exhaling at the top. Get into the top, relaxing. And then one more. As you get to the top again, roll the shoulders. Give the wrists and the ankles a little rotate. Let's get a bit of blood moving through them. Wonderful. Fab. We're going to take the legs even wider now. Come to a wide leg stance. Toes pointing to the long edge of the mat. Lovely and tall. And then we're just going to take the hands to the belly and just make sure we're mindful of this Mula Bandha. So if the belly's sticking out, if we've rounded into it, can we just pull the belly button up and in as if you're pulling it towards the heart. Lovely. Bend the knees a little so we've got that softness. And then let's take the hands to the hips. Roll the shoulders back and down. Really shine the heart forwards. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to fold it forward. Now remembering you can always pause halfway, just seeing how it feels. And then going down as far as feels comfortable. As you get to the bottom, you can let the hands come down to the floor or hanging. See what feels good. Give the head a nod, a little wobble. Really allow the body to fold. Let it all go. Lovely. Let's bend the knees even deeper. Inhale, roll up, come back up to standing. Shoulders back and down. Lovely. We're going to take the right toes, point them to the short edge of the mat. Bend that knee. Lift the arms, come in to our warrior two position, Virabhadrasana. Pushing that back foot into the floor. Shoulders back and down. And gaze over that front hand, so down the middle finger, drishti point. And feeling that gentle tug of the belly button up and in, strong warrior posture. Soft face, soft shoulders. Send the fingertips away from each other. Fabulous. Take a few breaths there. And just remember at the beginning of the class when we put our hands on our ribs, can you feel that same expansion? Lovely. I'm going to bend that front elbow, take it down to the knee. So we're coming into side ankle position. You can either sweep the arm up and over. If that's a bit too much on the shoulder, you can point the fingertips to the sky or take the hand to the hip, whichever works for you. Keep bending that front knee as you push the back leg down. Fabulous. Shining the heart forward and almost as if you were going to twist your body to face the sky. If you want to and it's accessible, take that bottom hand down to the floor. Might not be there yet. You might get down and go, nope, come back up. It's entirely up to you. So again, top arm can be wherever it needs to be. Bottom hand to the floor or a block. Lovely. Fabulous. Pointing that left hand to the sky. We're going to inhale, push down and lift up, straighten that front leg. Lovely. Keeping the arms lifted if you can. Keeping a nice strong body. We're going to come into triangle position. So spreading the toes into the ground. Inhaling, lift the chest. Exhale, send the fingertips forward and down. Just resting that hand gently on the leg. We don't need to push too hard. We're just waking up the body, moving it. Lovely. Just imagining that left hip is rolling open. Lovely. Let's inhale, lift it up using that Mula Bandha. We're going to exhale, let the hands come down. Turn the left toes back to face the long edge of the mat. So we're back in our wide posture. So we're going to go into forward fold again, but this time I'm going to give you the option for your chest expansion. So we can take the hands behind us, interlace the fingers, or simply hold hands if you prefer. Gently pull the hands back and down. Just be mindful not to lock the elbows out. Fabulous. Let's inhale. As you exhale, slowly fold forward. And again, you might find that you just want to go halfway, or you might come all the way down. Let the head be heavy. Let the hands sort of be pulled forward and down. Little shake of the head, little nod. Decompressing the spine while we open the chest. Lovely. We're going to come out of it as we've come in. So we're going to use the Mula Bandha to lift us up, inhaling all the way up. Release the hands. Oh, give the shoulders a roll. Should be nice and warm in the upper body. Let's take it to the other side. So this time left toes pointing to the short edge of the mat. Bending the knee. So you've got that lovely open body. We're going to lift the arms. Spreading the toes. Take the gaze over that front hand, so over the left hand. Just staring into our drishti point, so we're not looking at anything in particular. Lovely. Warrior position. Imagine you could almost draw energy up through the legs. Let's bend that front elbow, take it down to side angle position. So again, you can sweep the arms forward and over. So we can come into side angle. You can have the hands pointing to the sky or hand on the hip. See where you're at, particularly if you're getting any kind of shoulder issues. Just be gentle, be mindful. Keeping the heart lifted, rolling that top shoulder backwards. Wonderful. If you did on the other side, taking that bottom hand down to the ground. So again, hands can be wherever it needs to be. Listen to your body. Keep pushing into that back foot. I'm going to point the right fingertips to the sky. Let's inhale, lift it up. Start to straighten that front leg. Fabulous. Really pushing that heart forward. Let it shine forward. And I'm going to come into triangle pose. That front knee has got a little bend to it, just so we're not hanging out in the joints. Let's take a nice deep inhale. As we exhale, send that left hand forward and down. Lovely. Nice few breaths there, rolling that right hip back. Lovely. Let's inhale, lift it up. And exhale, float the arms down. Turn the toes to face the long edge of the mat. And again, if you need to, if it feels good, roll the shoulders. Get all that lovely energy moving around the body. Fabulous. This time we're going to turn the heels in to face each other. Well, not quite face each other, about halfway, so the toes are pointing away. I'm going to take the hands to the hips to start with. Take a nice long deep inhale, fill the ribs, fill the belly. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend the knees. And then I want you to use your hands to notice where your pelvis is. So is it sort of sticking out at the back? Is it pushing, thrusting forward? Can we get sort of a little tilt pattern going on, just forwards and backwards? And then find that center point. So you really want the pelvis to be pointing right down to the floor. Lovely. Taking it as deep as you want to go. You can be quite high, or you can really go for it. Fabulous. We're going to inhale, take the arms up. As you exhale, you bend the elbows, bring them in line with the shoulders, goddess posture. Pulling that belly button up in it. Fabulous. Gently pull the shoulder blades together, really shine that heart forward. Whole body warming up now. Getting that prana moving. Fabulous. One more breath here. And then inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Exhale, bring the arms down, give the wrists a little rotate. And then we're going to heel toe, heel toe. Bring the feet back in. Do feel free to just give them a little walk off. Feel the muscles. And bring the feet together. So we're going to take a little balance just to really center the mind and let us know where our balance is this evening. Remember, there's no good or bad. It's just where we're at. Bring the palms together. Just take a few breaths here to spread the toes into the floor. Lovely. Center your thoughts just down into your feet. Up through your legs. And then when we're ready, we're going to bring the right toes up, just hovering or just on the floor to start with, and then taking that knee out to the right, so opening up like a book, coming into your little baby tree. Making sure we're not letting that left hip kick out. Let's bring it in. And then let's take your tree wherever you want it to go. So you might take the foot to the calf, or might take it up to the thigh. Find your posture. Lovely. I'm going to keep the hands pressed together, and we're going to press each individual fingertip together. Notice that connection. Lovely. Let the breath be steady. Feel that expansion in the ribs as you breathe in. And the softening of the shoulders, of the face as you breathe out. Being both strong and soft. Fabulous. For the last few breaths, if you do want to play with closing the eyes. Wonderful. And then let's very slowly release the arms and release the leg, giving a hand if you need to. Oh, notice that difference. Bring the feet back down, spread the toes, palms together. Take a moment. Feeling tall, reconnect with the Mula Bandha, lifting up and in with the pelvic floor and tummy muscles. When you're ready, let's take the left toes up. Open up the knee like a book, and again, sucking that right hip in. We're lifting up like a tree, rooted down to the ground. When you've found your balance point or your wobble point, choose the same variation that you did on the other side if you can. It may be very different on this side, and that's okay. And again, connect each fingertip together. Notice the palms hugging each other. Notice how you root the foot down to the ground as the head lifts, connecting heaven and earth. Steady breath, soft face. Lovely. Last few breaths. Again, invite you to close the eyes, have a little play with that balance. And then very gently releasing, giving that leg a hand if you need to. And walk it out. Fabulous. Do grab a drink if you need to, or de-layer. And then we're going to come to the top of our mats. So I want you to just find a place where you've got plenty of space behind you. And come into your mountain posture, so your shoulders are back, arms down. Let's push that heart forward. So it's a strong posture, even though it's simply standing. Feet hip distance apart, or if you prefer, you can have the feet together. Entirely up to you. Coming into mountain. Gently gazing forward. Let's inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, folding forward, all the way down. I'm going to take a couple of breaths here, just to let the head have a little shake, let the shoulders be heavy. A little bend in the knees, just to really allow the body to fold. And let's inhale, halfway lift, so come up to hands to the shins or maybe just above the knees. Crown of the head is pulling forward and gaze is down. Lovely. Spreading the toes. Take the weight forward very gently into the toes a little bit until you can feel a little bit more going on in the backs of the legs. Really lengthen the body, shoulders away from the ears. Fabulous. Let's exhale, take it all the way down. We're going to gently plant the hands down, set the right leg back, bend that front knee. We're going to come up into a crescent lunge position. So when you're ready with the feet, we're going to lift up, bring the body up. So again, arms can be high, but if that's bothering your shoulders, hands to the hips. If we've got the arms lifted, let's relax the shoulders, down the back. Fabulous. Nice soft elbows. Pushing into that front knee as we push into that back foot. Lovely. Now we went through some flows last week to really get the energy moving. Now you can stay here or you can flow with me. It's entirely up to you. If we're going for the flow, we're going to inhale. As we exhale, folding forward, you're going to sweep the arms back and down. Inhale, lift it up, float the arms back up. As you exhale, fold it down. Lovely. We're going to take it through 3 more. Inhale up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. One more time. Let's inhale up. Really lift out the hips. And this time as we exhale, we're going to bring the hands to the floor. Lovely. You can stay with the leg lifted, or if it's feeling a little too intense, bring the knee down to the floor. Flatten out the toes. We're going to plant the right hand and inhale, left arm up, twisting in towards the thigh. So we've got that really nice twist, working into the thigh and the hip. Fabulous. Again, hands can be lifted, or you can place it down on the thigh if that's better for the shoulders. So work with what we've got today. Totally up to you. Lovely. Let's plant that hand down. We're going to step the foot back into a downward facing dog. So have a shuffle, get into your dog. Take a little walk out. Let's bend in one knee, then the other. And then see if you can settle into a little bit of stillness. So sending that bottom high, gently allowing the heels to come down. Take the shoulders away from the ears. Lovely. And take 1 or 2 breaths there, just really allowing the head to be heavy as the spine lengthens to the sky. On an inhale, you're going to start to take the weight forward and we're going to come into a plank position. So you can take the weight into the arms, you can have the legs lifted or drop the knees down, entirely up to you. Just pausing there for 1 breath. And then we're going to bend the elbows, sending them to the back of the mat as you lower yourself all the way to the floor. Lovely. Just making sure the hands are under the shoulders. We're going to inhale, lift up to a little cobra. Pushing the hips down. Pausing there for 2 or 3 breaths here. You might gaze up to the sky. Might gaze forwards. And then let's release it down to the ground. Tuck the toes under. Going to push up onto the knees and then over to your downward facing dog. Taking 1 breath there. Blowing it out. Let's look up towards the hands. Walk it or step it forward to your forward fold. Let's inhale halfway. Exhale, release. And inhale, we're going to roll up the spine. Come all the way to standing. Shoulders back and down. Lovely. Take a moment there in mountain posture. Reconnect with the breath. Lovely. We're going to come through that on the other side. So again, mountain posture. Let's inhale. Exhale, folding all the way down. Inhale, come to your halfway lift. Again, we're just going to pause here for a few breaths. You can take the weight forward just to activate the backs of the legs. Lovely. Exhale, let's take it down. This time we're stepping that left foot back. Bending the right knee, really connecting the feet to the floor. And then lifting up. Crescent lunge. Lovely. If arms are lifted, shoulders are down. Or hands can come to the hips. Find that steady breath. Nice soft gaze as we go through the flow if you want to. Going to inhale. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms back and down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold. Fabulous. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, let's take hands to the ground. Lovely. Remembering you've always got the option to drop that back knee. On an inhale, lift the right arm this time, twisting in towards the thigh. Fabulous. Hand can be pointed up. It could be on the base of the spine. Steady breath as you twist into that thigh. Find the edge. Find that point where it feels good but maybe intense. Now let's bring the hand down to the ground. We're going to step it back to our downward facing dog. Again, take a little bit of movement here and then settle into your stillness. Sending the heart towards the thighs, thighs towards the back of the room. Lovely. On your next inhale, I want you to start moving the weight of the body forward into plank position. So again, you can be lifted fully, or you can have knees to the ground. Entirely up to you. I'm going to pause there for a moment. Then start to bend the elbows, come all the way down to the floor. Lovely. This time we're going to take the hands as if we were going to try and touch our toes. So the arms come to the sides of the body. We inhale, lift the head and the chest, point the fingertips to the back of the mat. If that feels good, you might take the toes off the mat, but if that twinges anything, just ease off. Lovely. Couple more breaths. Really opening the chest. And then releasing down. Slide the hands back under the shoulders. And let's push up onto the knees and then over to your downward facing dog. Let's take a nice big breath there. And then down. Lovely. This time we're going to bend the knees, bring them to the floor. Come into your tabletop position. So just flattening out the toes behind you. Lovely. Connecting with that mula bandha once again, so the tummy is gently pulling towards the spine. Let's take some cat-cow tilt. So we're going to inhale, lift the head and the chest, point the tailbone. As you exhale, round the back, let the head go heavy. Inhale, let's lift it up. Arch the back, lovely. Exhale, round. Take a few more just at your own pace. So close the eyes and move with the breath. Using the exhale to really round the back, pull the tummy muscles in. Lovely. And then bring it to centre. We're going to settle it back to child's pose. So bring the bottom back. Let the head go heavy down onto the ground. If that feels uncomfortable, you can take the hands to underneath the forehead. And just remembering as we breathe, those ribs expand. Can you feel it in the back of the ribs? On an inhale, let's start to walk the hands towards the knees, bringing yourself up to a kneeling position ever so shortly, and then you're going to sweep the legs round and come into your sitting position, your staff position. Bottom is connected with the floor. Let's just sense those tailbone pulling down. I'm going to find a nice long spine here. Crown of the head pulling towards the sky. Fabulous. Let's inhale, take the arms. And we're going to exhale, start to fold forward. Now you can have a little bend in the knees here. I want you to pull forward and down. Wonderful. We're going to let the head go heavy. Now I did mention on Facebook earlier I was going to show you something with the bolster. So as we're here, if you did have a bolster or you had some cushions, with the forward fold, you can always use it to support you. This is a lovely restorative posture. Having something underneath, or if you can fold a little deeper, something between the legs, just allows you to find a little bit more release and relaxation. You can have the forehead down or the sides of the head. Just taking some breaths here, taking some time. Just allowing the heart rate to slow. Fabulous. Can be here for 5 more breaths. If you have rested the head on the side, do remember just to swap sides so you've got nice even. Relaxing the breath, finding that nice, slow, steady breath. And when we're ready, we're going to inhale, start to roll up to sitting. Just popping your cushions or your bolsters over to one side. Fabulous. From here, we're going to come into a cross-legged position. But I just want you to make sure that your right leg is in front of your left. Connect the sitting bones down. Now, the legs don't have to be close to the pelvis, so if cross-legged does feel uncomfortable, just have the ankles crossed. Finding that lovely long, tall spine. Lovely. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up. As you exhale, you're going to fold gently forward as if you're being pulled forward and down. Bring the hands to the floor and let the head go heavy if that feels good. You can always look forward if that's better for your neck. Wonderful. Just imagining that you're lengthening that spine, really decompressing it from if you can sit down a lot or even if you've been walking a lot. Let's really lengthen the spine. And then we're going to pass the hands over to the left-hand side. And then hopefully you should just feel a little bit more activation in that right hip. We hold a lot of tension, a lot of stress and emotion in our hips. They're connected to our fight or flight response. So if we've been very tense, our hips have been constantly ready to fight or flight. Let's see if we can just breathe a little bit of space into them. And I'm going to put the hands back into centre. And then rolling up nice and slowly. Fabulous. Let's take the legs out wide. We're just going to go comfortably wide, so we're not going to be trying to do any splits or anything like that. We're just getting them out as feeling a little bit of sort of stretching, a little bit of activation in the inner thighs. Point the toes towards the face, just so all the muscles in the legs are working. Lovely. We're going to take the hands in front of us. Take a lovely deep inhale, open the chest. And as you exhale, walk the hands forward. Now this might be just an inch, it might be 6 inches. Wherever the body wants to go. See if we can keep that back nice and long. So if you feel like you're rounding, then just lift the gaze a little. Have a nice long back, lovely. We're going to pat the hands over to the left-hand side. Now you might be able to hold the shin, you might be able to hold the foot. See where you can be. Lovely. We're just lengthening the body over that left leg. Imagine that you could touch the nose to the big toe rather than the nose to the knee. Fabulous. Let's pad the hands back to centre and then take it all the way over to the right. So again, hands might come to the shin or the foot. Lengthen over. Fabulous. Lovely. Let's pad the hands into centre. And then gently roll up with a nice big inhale. And then bring the legs in. So this time, the left leg is in the front. Take the body up, crown of the head pulling up. We're going to inhale, lift the arms. As you exhale, folding forward. So you're being pulled forward and down. Lovely. Maybe noticing you might go a bit further on this side or maybe not as far. Allow yourself to just connect with the hips, not pushing too far. And then patting the hands over to the right hand side this time. So then we're just focusing on that left hip. Maybe into the glute, maybe into the side of the body. Notice where you feel sensations. Wonderful. Let's pad the hands back into centre. Inhale, roll all the way up to seated. Just take the legs out in front, give them a little shake. And then you're going to bring feet flat to the floor, knees bent, and we're going to roll down to the mat. So just taking your time, you can hold on to the shins, you can hold on to the backs of the thighs, and we're going to start to round in, tuck the chin into the chest, and see if we can just nice and gently roll all the way down to the ground. Let the arms go as you get there. Fabulous. So just staying there down on the ground, you're going to bring the knees to the chest, giving your legs a little hug in. Maybe a little rock from side to side. Massaging that lower back into the ground. Fabulous. Lovely. And then before we settle into our little Shavasana, we're going to take a nice twist. So just allow the arms to fall away into sort of a T position or a Y position. Let the shoulder blades be nice and heavy. And you can keep the knees lifted if you'd like a deeper twist. Or if you're feeling a little bit stiff this evening, bring the feet to the floor. So your choice. Take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, take the knees to the right hand side and come into that recline twist. Fabulous. I'm going to pull. Feel the breath. And then when you're ready, inhaling, bring the knees all the way back to centre. And then as you exhale, allow the knees to fall over to the left hand side. So enjoying that twist. Lovely. Again, shoulder blades against the floor as the knees fall down. Taking a few more breaths, but allowing the breath to just find its own way now. Maybe starting to close the eyes. And then on your next inhale, lifting the knees back to centre. Giving yourself that little hug in one more time, little rock from side to side. And then we're going to settle into a Shavasana position. So I have just moved my bolster here to show you that you can always pop a bolster or some blocks or some nice cushions underneath the knees. Lovely option to have the knees lifted and then lie back. That can just take a lot of pressure off the lower back. Or you can have the legs extended, you can have the arms by the sides or above the head. Find what feels good for you. Find your Shavasana position. Grab a blanket, grab a jumper. Make any last minute movements that you need to make. And then see if you can just let go into the floor. Allow the ground underneath to support you. Give the body permission to just melt into the ground. Just letting it go. Allow the eyes to soften. Gently have the eyelids closed or a soft gaze. Allow the waves of breath to wash up and down. Notice the heaviness of the body on the ground and the lightness of breath coming in through the nose and out through the nose. In through the nose and out through the nose. Close the gap. Close the gap between yourself and your body, your path and your purpose, your heart and forgiveness, your worries, the wrinkles that follow them, and focus on what really matters. Pay attention when you are tipping forward from one moment to the next, losing yourself in the process of running from one state of dissatisfaction to another. Pay attention. So you slow down when you need to. Listen to your body's whispers for more nourishing food, time outdoors, sleep, and close the gap. Close the gap between what you know you should do and what you end up doing. Instead of sitting tired and exhausted, a dull flickering screen illuminating that last bite of ice cream, and that one, and that one. Rock yourself to sleep with a lullaby. I'm coming home to myself, closing the gap between my life and my dreams. I'm coming home to myself, finally listening to the heart tugging at my sleeve. With your hands on your heart, close the gap between yourself and your love. Take 5 long, slow, deep breaths. When you're ready, begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Rotate the wrists and the ankles. Begin to move just as the body needs to move. Stretching the arms, stretching the legs. Doing what comes naturally. And slowly but surely making your way over on to your right hand side. Take a pause there and then just gently push yourself back up to seated position. Seeing if you can keep the eyes gently closed. And then bringing the hands together at the heart. And just nod the head down for a moment. Mind giving way to the body. And just thank your body for everything it is capable of doing. And thank yourself for turning up this evening. And perhaps reminding yourself once in a while to close the gap. Namaste.